morning, everybody, and welcome, of course, to the Hex Token channel. Your host, Superman. Woohoo! I'm excited. We've got big news for Pulsechain, big Pulsechain news. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having a good time out there. And, of course, don't forget to get in the chat, say hello. That's what it's all about, the community. And number one, numero uno. We might as well enjoy the journey on the way, right? Enjoy the journey on the way. That's how it rolls. And, of course, we're going to have a lot of fun today. We've got some big news for Pulsechain, and of course around liquid loans, and of course Oracle, TELLOR, and of course also got some big news obviously from EB Control, obviously coming to Pulsechain as well. We have alluded to that before in the past, but of course Rackham Rishels ratcheting that up there with the big news. So it's going to be very, very cool. We'll get into all the details of that later on. Hope you guys can have a lot of fun. We're going to zoom out and check out the markets at the moment. We're going to look at the stock market and financial news. And maybe a little bit of geopolitical news there as well. We're also going to jump into the Hex ecosystem charts and check all that out. Get into a bit of what's happening with Richard Heart and the highest stakes in France. And, of course, we're going to also obviously get the project updates as well. So stay tuned for all of that is coming. So lots of fun. And, yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good YouTube stuff as we continue to live stream twice a day on Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. So definitely check out hex.com and pulsechain.com if you want to find out further information. Let's get into the chat. Say hello. We've got a few people in the house. AP there. Hey, Superman, good to see you. I'm thinking August will be huge for Hexkins. Yeah, well, I've been saying that too, AP. I've been saying that for some time. Yeah, I've been dancing up and down and doing all sorts of crazy stuff because we've got lots coming. We've got Maximus coming. We've got Acosa coming. Acosa are coming first, then Maximus looks like that order at this stage. And of course, we've probably got a few other things as well coming in. We've also obviously got some good news flow coming in through Pulsechain. So very, very cool. Now, if you're looking at Hex, of course, you get 2 for 1 at the moment because you're going to get a copy on the Pulsechain. So you're going to have 2 versions of Hex, one on ETH and one on Pulsechain when Pulsechain launches. So that's coming up in the future. Very cool. Nice one, AP. Good to see you in the chat, by the way. Dave Down Under, perfect clickbait. Yeah, you like that? I like that too. Yeah, the girl next door. Who can't resist the girl next door? Although they never seem to live next door to your own house, right? That's always the girl next door, but they never live next to your own house. Unless you're in a movie. Unless you're in a movie, and then suddenly they pop up at the house next door. I don't know how it works. We've got Brendan in the house there. Good morning. Long-range missiles have been aimed at Taiwan today from China. Then fell in Japanese waters. Next 72 hours will be all eyes on China. Scary news. Yeah, well, they were doing a retaliatory drill around Taiwan due to, you know, the political party that we think are a bunch of idiots who are running the America at the moment. And, of course, what do you expect, Brendan? What do you expect? These guys are complete lunatics running that administration at the moment. And that's what you get. You get what you get. You get what people vote for. They fall for the propaganda. Coming out of the mainstream news there, and of course they all think they're the heroes, right? So it's crazy stuff. Will they be heroes if they have to go fight on the trenches? I don't know. That would be a different story, right? Hello, how to you today, says Lies Beneath. Good to see you. And of course, hello, Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLSX for the win. Absolutely 100%. Good to see you, Lies Beneath. And that is the strategy of this channel, is those tokens, the Richard Heart Golden Standard projects. It is the ultimate. We've got Crypto Tycoon. Hey, Superman, how are you? Hope all is well. Yeah, very good. We've actually got a sunny day today. You know, it's the last month of winter down here, down under, as we say, in Australia and New Zealand. And, of course, I guess some Pacific Islands as well. I'm not sure if they're fairly high up, but they get still down this way. And, of course, we've had a very rainy winter. And, of course, we've got sun out today. So I'm going to get out in the sun today. And, of course, I've got lots to do today. So I'm going to try and make that a day of action, Jackson. And yeah, Superman's going to be flying around. That's pretty much it, and doing lots of duties as well. It's going to be a bit of a cool day between the live streams here. Good to see you, CT. What's up, Hexkins, Pulseskins, and Pulsexkins? D-Hex in the house. Hey, good to see you. Woo! Got to get excited, man. Get excited because things are slowly ramping up day after day, and we're one day closer to Pulsechain, so that's another cool positive. We got Sinful Believer in the house as well. Hex Token channel member. Woo! Just like Lies Beneath. What's up? What's up? Good to see you, Sinful Believer. And you mind as well. I caught you early. Nice one. Nice one. Now I do have my latte. Grab yourself a drink if you're watching. It's nice and smooth, perfect temperature at the moment. So starting off the day pretty nicely. And good to see you, never mind, a new mind in the house. Brizology, let's go. Hey Briz, good to see you as always. A pleasure. And of course, Sinful Believer as well. Can't wait for the world to shine on us Hexicans. Absolutely Sinful Believer. It's just ratcheting up. JP as well. What's up? Good to see you, Jay Perry. Hex is designed to perform in the bear market. Yes, it does. Well, it's actually, you think about in the longer context, what are we about 2 years, 8 months old, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe heading up to 9 months old, 8 months. Yeah, it's more like 8 months, I guess. 8 months old. Then, you've got, you've actually got a pretty good price level at the moment. So in that context, it's actually doing pretty well from that point of view. Did I miss the big news? No, we're coming up to big news. It's coming up later at Pulse Player. The Pulse Player is in the house, and Lost in Crypto. Whoop, whoop. Good to see you. And Pulsechain chain launch in August. Now, I don't know about August, but that would be amazing if it was August. But I'm thinking later in the year. There are two theories, pretty much September. And of course, the other one, December, January. That's kind of the two main theories we've seen for the launch date and the rationales behind them. What else there? We've got Brennan. Yes, that's so true, man. Crazy people in charge. Man, pray for peace outcomes. Yeah, that's true, Brennan. I will just say one comment, Brennan. It's interesting. Under the previous administration, the world was at peace. We had the Abraham Accords. We had everything else. That was pretty much no one was going to do anything under the previous administration. We actually had world peace. We got the party that said that the previous administration was going to be a warmonger, and who ends up being the one goading the warmongers. Isn't it interesting? Interesting. All right, Rocket Mob in the house there. What a time to be alive, says Rocket Mob. Yep, true that. Change as always. Thank you again for what you do, Hex Token. I appreciate that. Change as always. It's a pleasure, man. It's I really do enjoy it. So it's a pleasure. We'll be getting a bag load of Hex over the weekend. Nice one, Dave Down Under. Woohoo! We're going to do the bow down, but Dave Down Under, he's a hardcore Hexican. We love it. And a dirty pause, patience is the key. That is true. We've got proof of weight in our culture and crypto community, and it does stand us out from a lot of other communities as well. All right, Pole Polishers is so toothpaste. Yeah. Well, we try to keep this channel on a crypto primarily because I don't want to unleash my political thing, and of course we know that the YouTube platform is, though it's not as bad as Twitter and Facebook and things like that, they are on the losing side of reality. So they hunker down on you, as we know. All right, they're the same ones that are removing freedom of speech. Those people, those ones. All right, well, let's get into the stock market. I'm going to leave some timestamps after the video just so people can jump straight through past the intro into the content. And of course, we've got stock market today. Dow wobbles ahead of monthly jobs report as energy loses steam. Now, if you haven't seen my video, I did the August economic financial indicators that are what we call high. They rank them low, medium, high, and I covered the high ones in the video. Check that out. I'm going to be doing that every month so you can see what the major financial things that are going to have potentially a big impact are. Check that video on the channel. It's got all the August coming up. And of course, I've diarized to do that every month. So we're doing a video on that. And I think that's pretty important. So people will start to get more familiar with the key economic indicators that can move markets. And of course, we're going to look at the jobs report coming up. That is one of the items on the list. All right, let's get into some of the markets at the moment. Dow Jones, the top 30 industrial firms. The reason why I always go into a bit of a definition there, just a brief one, is just so that people that are new, they kind of understand the context of these indicators. The Dow Jones top 30 industrials in the United States, 85 points down. And that's down 0.25% to 32,726. S&P 500, that is at down 3 points at 24151. Pretty much almost flat, but just slightly down. Nasdaq, with a lot of the tech companies that you well know, is up 52 points, and that's at 12,720. And up 0.4%. So pretty cool on that. Nice to see the Nasdaq with the tech firms doing a little bit okay there. S&P 500, the VIX, or the volatility index, and that is down half a point there to down 2.3%, and that's a good thing. It means it's kind of risk on again rather than risk off. And of course, we've got the dollar index versus US trading partners down 0.7% there to 105. That's kind of the key leading stock markets in currency. Let's get to the commodities. We've got West Texas crude and Brent oil. They're both up slightly. Well, it's changing around quite a bit there. So on the percentage, but they were both up a second ago. They just changed there on the West Texas there. But that's at around about 87 at 93. They've actually pulled off a bit, right? They used to be up over $120 down to about 112, down to about 100. They're now down to about 93. So that's actually good for inflation. That will ease off the Fed a bit. And of course, that's good for stock markets and crypto. So that's generally pretty good. Also, obviously, it's very good for the pump that you're in as well. Now, how long is it going to last for? That's the question. Obviously, if you've got China firing missiles over the place, then we could see the market turn pretty quickly. So just keep an eye on it. It's going to be volatile. As we said, we are in a bear market and we're expecting volatility. We also can't just be ignorant of all these things. That's why I've done the financial indicators coming up for every month, is that we've got to keep ourselves abreast of the basic things that are going on in the financial world, because it could impact your crypto investments, right? And you want to be aware of that. We've got gold at 1806, and so that's back over 1800, and silver at $20, pretty much flat there. Still open markets. We've got soybeans there up 3.6% at 1400, and food and property are kind of the two big industries that we're going to be looking at in the future, because they could show signs of further hemorrhaging. Food with the geopoliticals, particularly wheat out of Ukraine and Russia. And of course, we did see that Ukraine finally got a shipment out of Odessa, I think it was, after a long time. And so it was nice to see that. Obviously, a lot of that food ended up going to the Middle East and Africa. So really, it's not the West that generally gets hurt by that, but those areas instead, which is a bit of unfortunate side effects there. But that's what happens when you get the international conflict. So let's have a look here. We got, we got the Dow slipped Thursday as a slump in energy stocks weighed on the broader market ahead of eagerly awaited monthly job report due Friday that will offer fresh insight into the health of the economy. This is obviously the big leading indicator. The Department of Labor reported Thursday that 260,000 people filed for unemployment insurance in the week ended July 30, up 6,000 from the prior week, but roughly in line with economists' forecast. So this indicator here was in the update I did on the video at the beginning of this month. So you can go back and see all the ones that are still come up, including the jobs report. The stuff in grey is pretty neutral stuff. So the data come ahead of, that's not quite right. The data came ahead of Friday's job report that will offer clues on the health of the economy following recent data showing the U.S. economy declined for a second straight quarter, which is a technical recession. Economists expect that the economy generated about 250,000 jobs in July compared with 372,000 jobs the prior month, but an upside surprise above 300,000 jobs would likely force markets to reassess expectations of potential slowdown and likely weigh on stocks. Now, typically, the people like to say that we're not in a technical recession. You're not in a full, proper recession or full recession until we get employment going down too, and that normally happens after we get a technical recession. So if we do get these numbers declining, that would be moving towards a more fullish rounded recession. That's pretty much what these numbers are going to be pretty important coming up on Friday. Now it's already Friday here in New Zealand, but we're talking about Friday in the United States. The jobs report will also serve as a read-through on the Federal Reserve's likely path of action on monetary policy, as the central bank has highlighted the strength of the labour market as evidence that the economy remains robust and is able to withstand further rate hikes. So this employment data is really key, So stay tuned for that in the next within the next 24 hours. That's probably a really key data line there. And it's going to play an even more important role than normal. Is pretty much that employment figure. A much better than expected jobs report with a headline number beyond 300,000 may prove bad news for stocks, and it's likely to buoy the central bank to follow through on its plan to front load rate hikes. Front load meaning being very hawkish, probably getting to 75 basis points is probably where we end up there. Maybe not 100 basis points or 1% there, but percentage point. But that's kind of what it's talking about there. The very strong headline number north of 300,000 jobs will be problematic for markets because it certainly give the Fed ammunition to tighten money policy further. Chief strategist at Sprouting Rock Asset Management told Investing News. Average hourly rates will also be closely watched, saying that a surprise fall in wages would probably be pretty good for equities because it would show that this work is getting accomplished and they don't need to keep raising rates. So it'll be another one with the employment inflation there. Energy was the biggest drag on the broader market, down more than 2% as the US oil prices fell below $90 for the first time since Russia invaded Ukraine. In other words, that's pretty, kind of not so bad there in terms of the outcome. Technology, this is in green, so obviously good. Technology, however, cut losses, keeping downside in the broader market in check as a big hit tech was mostly traded higher. And of course, we saw that in the NASDAQ result there. The NASDAQ result on the indicators. You can see the NASDAQ there was up 0.4% there, sorry. So that was pretty good. Finally, we've got home builders. We're also in ascendancy. This is kind of odd. This is the real odd part of this update. Home builders were in the ascendancy, lifting consumer stocks after data showing mortgage rates actually fell below 5% to their lowest level since April on expectations for a less hawkish Federal Reserve. Only in the United States to get this reduction in interest rates. Honestly, that would never happen in New Zealand. When the Reserve Bank increases the interest rates, the banks just jump up straight away and increase their interest rates. It's none of this competitive rich interest rate and reductions. That's pretty crazy stuff. Very really, maybe I've seen it once. That's probably it. So there we are. And here's a very green news for crypto. Woohoo! Another news: Coinbase jumped more than 10% after cryptocurrency exchange inked a partnership with evil little BlackRock, because I call it that. A lot of people hate BlackRock because they're up to no good in different areas, to allow the latest institutional clients to invest in Bitcoin. Now, that's a big deal. I said that yesterday that, we're only, probably early adoption for institutional investment into crypto. Most of them can't invest directly. So if they do have if they are able to invest in crypto as part of their investment portfolios, then they will take time to go over. It could be a 10-year time frame before we see full adoption of institutions. So we're probably only about 20% through that, and 2 years into 10 years. So this is another massive door opening up to institutional clients to invest in Bitcoin. So that's actually a big deal. So very, very cool. All right, so that is the crypto news. The stock market and financial news. Obviously, we've got the big news about China firing rockets at Taiwan in response to the Speaker of the House deciding to go for a joy travel, holiday travel. But there we are. All right, so here we got BTC and ETH at the moment. BTC down 22 to 656, down 0.7%. We've got ETH at 1,610, down 0.3%, and BNB continuing to climb at $310, up 4% there. Let me know in the chat there what you think about that. What's driving that, other than we just saw that BlackRock argument for Coinbase. That's probably positive generally as well. So cool. All right, so I haven't managed to actually check anything out about that, so that's why I asked. All right, so here we are with the Hex chart. Woohoo! And we've got Hex at 4.75 cents. It's the same as yesterday. I feel like we're stuck here. We're stuck at 4.75. You guys know that I wanted to get the 6.2, 6.3 as a base before we had the Okoza and the Maximus contracts come out, because that higher base is super bullish, like even better. And of course, we're breaking out of the structure here as well. We do have still an uptrend here, higher lows, but we're still got to get out of this sort of area here of 5.5 cents. So that's kind of, we want to break out of there. We've still got a fairly okay looking chart. We have got narrowing EMA 13. That's kind of a little bearish in there, but of course it's not inevitable that's going to close there. Sometimes they can separate. So we've got the top of the Bollinger Bands in blue. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can sort of see that there. The top of the Bollinger Bands in blue is how much? 5.2 cents. The bottom is 3.7. The red line is the 50% price range, which is 4.5 cents. And we've got the EMA 13 in yellow is 4.6. Now, obviously, when the EMA in yellow crossed the red 50% Bollinger Band line, which 50% of the price range, it gave us a trend reversal, and it played out a textbook. There's a real textbook. And of course, we had tightening Bollinger Bands, which were perfect. So that was the perfect play there. And we got that nice trend reversal. Very, very cool. Obviously, we've come down a little bit here, gone up to 5.5 cents, come back down here to 4.4 and bounced off. So we actually bounced off the 50% Bollinger Band, which was kind of the bottom of that range that we thought. And of course, here we are at the moment. So are we going to start to see a little rise up here and so forth? So we have got the Bollinger Bands rising as well. So that's kind of positive too. So the only I think it's generally positive. The only negative thing in here is slightly tightening EMA to the 50%, but that may not play out. Let's have a look at the DMI. DMI here, the sellers are down and the buyers are also slightly down, but still staying that gap, still staying remain. We've still got confirmation of a trend here for the buyers, quite reasonably strong, 31. We need 25, which is down here, 25 or higher. That gives us a bit of a confirmed trend there. So that's actually still playing out. The RSI there took a breather. We were way up at 67, not an overbought territory. We came down to 52, pretty massive pullback there. That's kind of healthy. You saw it happen here, down, and then up we went. So down, maybe we can get another little run here, which is setting up reasonably nicely. Let's have a look at, woohoo! This is probably a really good tell here. This is the stochastic RSI. And look at this. Looks like it's about to cross, which is bullish. So that's cool. I just saw that now. So that's actually could make us another run. A bit like how we came down here. Crosses over and we get another run there. And, of course, that could be bullish. So that's actually, I think we got more bullish signs. We got probably only one little slightly bearish sign in there with the closing EMA 13. Everything else looks fairly good to me. So optimistic is the way I put it. So my probability, probably more like 70% we go up and 30% down. So that's kind of where I feel about that chart. If I was to make a subjective assessment there based on what I'm seeing in the chart there. So cool. Let me know in the chat what you think about where the price is going for Hex in the next couple of days. But seems like it's going to probably more likely go up than down. Obviously not investment advice, just my opinion. So just remember that. All right, Hex is here at, this is on the hourly now. So we're looking at Hex on the hourly in our quad charts. And of course, Hex was up at 4.85 a couple of hours ago, just back down to 4.7. Just seems like it's been here for a little while, even though it hasn't been. It's been down further, but that's the way it goes. Let's go to jump on the Hedron. Obviously, ICOSA is coming up first. That is what we're expecting first at the moment. They seem to be ahead of Maximus team at this stage. And of course, both of them will require Hex, and that's bullish for Hex. And of course, currently we've got Hedron here at 978, almost just under 1,000. Has the high of the day has been 1,000. It has tested this 4 times. Typically on a 4th time, you'll see a rejection a lot of times. Like sometimes won't even make the 4th time. The 3rd time you get a rejection. So we're still staying up here elevated. But then of course we have got the ICOSA coming out. And I couldn't see any update on Alex's update this morning. So unless he does something later on today, there's no update at this stage. We're still currently at public testnet version 2. So that's kind of where we're at. So whether Alex is happy with the code after the testing and he's ready to send it to the auditors, we don't know. We'll have to wait and find out whether it's gone to the auditors when he's ready. That's after the auditors. You've done that and you've ticked everything off. You've made any changes. Then you can announce launch date and go to mint phase. And so bullish for August for ICOSA. Still bullish for launch in August and potentially mid-August is definitely a potential chance for mid-August is kind of where I feel that is stage. Well, obviously we're waiting for the official launch. So bullish here at the stage. Always got still higher lows in, but once again, still trying to test that 1,000 mark. So cool. Let's have a look at Maximus, of course, the other second layer derivative of Hex. Both of them are eating up Hex supply. We like that. That's bullish for Hex. And of course, we've got a nice rising trend here, but we've got the similar idea here. We're trying to get past a certain level. Seems like we've got that on Hex, Hedron, and Maximus. And of course, obviously, Maximus following Hex pretty closely because the charts are tied. But here we are at the moment trying to get past this 10-cent mark for Maximus. And of course, 9.3 or just under 9.4 cents at the moment is where we're at to the high for the day at 9.6. And we're in 6 minutes times, we're about to flick into a new day. So we'll be switching over to a new day in 6 minutes. Let's get on to the premium, which has been like a boss. It is currently 97% and pretty much sticking around here, really. Yesterday, a couple of days ago, we had a real big blip with a million Maximus buy. Someone bought a million Maxi and it went up, it helped it go up to 109%, almost 110% premium, which is pretty crazy stuff there. We did have this massive premium way back here on the 15th of May, and that was 133%, 134% there. So pretty cool. Uptrend still intact, looking like a boss here. People are still trying to understand the perpetuals and the team token, particularly the mystery box is a bit of a wild card. Dip catcher, the dev didn't really give, he just gave a whole ton of scenarios Basically, it's a mystery box, and you have no expectations. You don't know whether it's going to sell the maxi, sell the head team token, and it does get a copy of all the team tokens, so you don't know what's going to do with that. You don't know whether it's going to act like the OA and support the stakers and not sell, and maybe only stake team token a little bit. Don't know anything about it. So it's a question mark there. I do strongly recommend you watch Dipcatcher's video on his YouTube channel. We have got that in Discord. We posted that the other day, yesterday, and that is this one here. So if you are looking at investing in perpetuals and team token, I strongly recommend that you watch this video by Dipcatcher and think about a lot of the things that are going on there. Also, if you want to check out 2 videos that I've done on both Acosa and Maximus. I've got, they're called Acosa in a Nutshell and Maximus in a Nutshell. They're great starting videos. If you're looking to start your investigation of these, they're definitely well worth following. There's just the one Dipcatcher, and there's also another one. There's another one out there, I think, by GRFX or whatever. Another YouTuber out there has done some reviews too. So some good videos to kick you off in your investigations. That's kind of there on the chart. So let's jump over to the BNB coins and have a quick look at that. And I'm just going to leave them here for the moment, and we're going to get in some of the comments so I don't get too far behind. Let me find where I was up to. I got up to there. Jerry's in house. What's up? Got up to there. We got Lost in Crypto. Whoop, whoop. You have the best show, bro. Keep it up. Hey, appreciate that, Lost in Crypto. Thanks very much. I'm trying to improve it all the time. I think you guys can notice that. Pulsechain launch August. I think we got up to that one. And of course, Brennan. Yes, that's so true. Crazy people in charge. My pray for peace. Yeah, we got up to that one too. What a time to be alive, says Rocket Mob. Yeah, I think we got up there. I've actually got up to these ones. So we'll be getting a bag load of Hex over the weekend. Yeah, I got up to Dave. Dave's awesome, and patience is the key. Yeah, I'm up to the date. Here we are. Wookie. Big news. Woohoo! The Man of Steel. Hey, Wookie, it is big news for sure. Don't you want to get you banned, man? We'll stick a crypto. Yeah, Brennan. Yeah. It's so hard. Sometimes you want to talk about geopolitics, especially when some people say everything's relative. I see most things are not relative. They are absolute. When people are living in relativity, they're living in fantasy land. This is the way it goes. So how about that? That's about talking about politics without talking about politics. Precisely says they are all corrupt and forced to push policies because they have blackmail against them. Yeah, some of them for sure. Dave Down Under says, with your experience, do you have any thoughts on what price Pulsechain and Pulsex will be in the first couple of days? I think it's going to be incredibly volatile, Dave. I think they're going to go up. I know that there's going to be large people some people that will be having to sell, either need to or so forth. Yeah, but my price target, I think my price target's still at in the not maybe in the first couple of days, but still up there at probably 0.0012, somewhere in that ballpark. Is kind of where I feel about that. Where else we going there? D-Hex in there. Let's go Hexkins. Woo! Says D-Hex. Hello, Hex Token and everybody. Hey, Sandy Beach. Good to see you. What else we got going on there? Did Wiki change the definition of recession? They all changed. They've been changing definitions of everything to suit a radical So we've seen that a lot of those things are all extremists. And unfortunately, they seem to have power over too many things. Why would you align with BlackRock when you've seen what they're doing to Luna, says Brennan. True that. What did I miss, says Empty Corner? Nothing yet, I don't think. What did BlackRock do to Luna? They sold BTC to the founder to stabilize their stablecoin and shorted the BTC against them, leaving them broke. Yeah, that was the one of the commentaries about what happened there with Luna. Hex is about to pump. It's his name. I like it. I like how you're feeling. Hex is about to pump. Yeah, I like that. Let's go back to the Hex chart. Pump. We want to pump to chat. That's the Hex Token channel pump. That's what we call it. That's why we're doing the dance. Refined in the house there. Woohoo! Good to see Refined. Middlemen suck. Find them, delete them, says Bitfinex. True that. We like decentralized. That's what we say. If you're in centralized stuff, CFI or anything like that, really think about moving, doing the homework and getting into DeFi and decentralized finance. That's the way it goes. Is there a way to see all the sacrifices I've made in one website? Just curious if there's such a thing. No, expectation. There's not. There's individual sites for the sacrifices. I've never seen any global checker. Bitfinex has changed the definition of all they want. If my grandma was born with wheels, she'd be a bike. Yeah, nice one, Bitfinex. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, so here we go. We got Pulse Dodge here, 00433 at the moment. And of course, that is actually up, which is kind of cool, up 5%. Now, if we have the context that BNB is up 4%, and of course, that's up 5%, so about 1% difference there. And of course, it's managed to slowly etch itself. It's really at the low, though. It's trying to get itself back up there. We don't hear much from the team as far as I know. I need to get into that and have a little check again. Keep forgetting to do it. P33 is up at 15.3 cents. That's also looking pretty low. Look at that chart. So it's looking pretty low down there. It's just itching up a little bit there, just like this chart, but not doing too much. And of course, it's up 12%. So it's actually up pretty good versus BNB at 4%. So what's an 8% difference? So it's pretty cool. I am there versus Wrap BNB is at 1332. Yay! It's up 9%. So that's a 5% difference. And can it etch itself up higher? This might get into a breakout territory if it can get over this 1600. If it can consolidate over 1600 and attack that 2000, this might get into a breakout territory. I guess KG would be pretty happy about that. Here is the chart here. Let's have a look here. That is the chart in full. Obviously, there was a big rally. We've seen this many times. And then it pulled right back. So people that bought up here, very painful to buy up the top, of course. And then people buying it of large volumes at the bottom here. So you got to fight your way back, just like in every chart. Once it does the sort of pullback, you got to fight your way back up. And at the moment, this is doing okay. Now, remember, they've had 90% burn to their signaling supply. And I can't remember the date. I need to put the date in here for that because it's probably important. But they're slowly moving up there. KJ's been doing giveaways and stuff like that. I say that every day. But that's probably a good thing. And increasing his social media, which is the number one, I think, while they're developing, increase your social media. That's pretty much the BNB coins. And they're getting airdropped, of course. Unlike the Hex chart, where they're on Ethereum, they're getting forked over with the block. We're going to check out the airdrops, of course. Woohoo! We got Pulse Dodge coin. How's that doing? I haven't actually had a little look at it yet. So let's have a look at Pulse Dodge coin. Still in overbought territory, but it could stay up here elevated if the whales keep supporting the price moving up and more people come into the ecosystem. So those two things could drive the price up. We're currently at $7.46. Yesterday we had $7.57. And of course, we've just floated over into a new day. So I'm not sure if this is going to update soon into a new day. We'll see. It's kind of where we are to say the fourth year. So I don't think it flicked over yet. It takes a couple of minutes, like 5-10 minutes, I think, before it updates. The plane is still up and to the right, but we are still in overbought territory. Like I say, this is a little different, though. If you think that the whales are still buying, once again, if you are invested, you want to hold, I would definitely suggest looking at the top whale accounts and see what they're doing on the blockchain. And if any particular account is supporting the price going up, like they were buying on a regular basis. Sometimes what they do is they let the sellers sell and then they buy up their tokens and then they push it back up. It's kind of like that zigzaggy thing at the moment. Still very strong looking chart at the moment still. So very cool. That being said, of course, got to be tentative about this here. If I match this here and I offset it with the whales buying consistently, you might have a reasonably decent chance of going higher and higher and higher. We might get into the teens, might get over $10. If you're a whale, you're going to probably want to try and probably slowly push it up over $10 and then $20, etc. That's kind of the time frame. Obviously not investment advice. You must do your own due diligence, etc. But very cool so far. Holding up pretty nicely. We've got this here, of course. I did check Pulse Dodge Twitter. There wasn't anything particularly interesting there. Obviously, we're waiting for staking to come for Pulse Dodge coin. So we'll wait for that. Now, the weight token, of course, everyone is waiting. We're currently at just over 0.5 cent. So pretty much been between this 0.5 cent and 0.6 of a cent here. So it's kind of where we are, been stuck there for quite a bit of time, even back here, really. And we only had one blip above there. But most of the time it's been in this range. So it seems like 0.5 cent seems like what people 0.5 cent seems to be most of the time there. Now everyone's just waiting for Pulsechain. Every day that we wait for Pulsechain, another 4.5 million is pretty much being minted. Only about 48 million has been minted so far, which is nothing compared. It's about 4%, just over 4%. So not much at all. That's pretty much the charts. Woohoo! Let's get into the news. Who wants to do news? I want to do news. I want to do news too. I want to talk about the news. Me too. We're going to do a big Pulsechain news. We'll leave a timestamp, of course, so you can jump straight to it. I like this one name. Hex is about the pump. I like that. That's very bullish. I like that. What else do we got going there? Hex PLSD in the house. Woohoo! Am I early? 7 a.m. here in Thailand. Hey, nice one, Hex PLSD. I bet it's pretty in Thailand, particularly some of the areas are particularly nice. J-Pon in the house there. Good to see you, J-Pon. And Tintop. What's up, Mexicans? Hey, good to see all these wonderful community members jumping in. That's for sure. Let's get into it. Woo! We got Richard Hart here. Now, this is the highest of stakes. So only in the land of Richard Hart win. Art and OG Hexkin also did so well with Hex that he commissioned one of the world's top artists to create a portrait of Richard Hart as a thank you. Then he flew to France to hand deliver it. Isn't that cool? Let's read that one more time just so we can take that in. Art and OG Hexkin did so well with Hex that he commissioned one of the world's top artists to create a portrait of Richard Hart as a thank you. Then they flew to France to hand deliver it. So pretty cool. It's part of the highest of stakes. It's pretty neat. I'm gonna resend that around. We're gonna have a look at this now. It does have a orchestra, so hopefully it's their own orchestra and it's not copyright because I'm about to play it and I don't want to be pinged for it. So we're gonna play that. Here we go. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of everything. Let's get rid of everything. It's all going. We're going. I'm going too. All right, I'm going as well. Let's get into it. Bam.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you as well. How's it going? Look at the bling. Flexing, hard flexing.
You know he did the watch for me.
Man. So what's in here? What's this?
Show us.
Maybe we should find out who you are first. Tell me about you, man.
I'm Art Oracle. I really enjoy everything you've ever done here to get us going. Oh, Hexagon big time.
Nice, man.
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you get in?
Why did I get in? Because you had the best. You absolutely had the best. I did my research, man.
Nice, man.
I was a Bell Labs researcher for 30 years.
That's
I
amazing.
knew exactly what I wanted.
Oh, the frame, my God. That's beautiful. That's really great. That is exactly the style that I love, man. Sparkly, wealthy, rich, high contrast.
Exactly. Diamond studded.
You hit it, man.
Diamond studded
gold.
gold.
There were mountains of gold everywhere there.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool that someone would get in a private jet, have an amazing piece of art commissioned by apparently an extremely famous artist. You know, I hear that he knows 6 presidents and he's on the board of directors of some fancy stuff. Tell me the idea. How'd you get the idea?
But the ones that is really like dedicated, have discipline and passion for what they do, they become very successful like you. So this is really, symbolize and epitomize, success in such a big way.
I love it, dude.
It's you.
Thank you, man.
My
Thank you
pleasure,
so much.
man.
It's sick.
Great, I'm
it's
so
really
happy
sick.
that Arthur commissioned me to do that.
Nice. Ooh. Yeah, look at that.
For inviting us and
Thank you, man.
Amazing, Thank you so much.
Anybody that wants to come on a jet and bring amazing art to me, I'm welcoming them. What a great and wonderful thing.
So that was pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I did. Yeah, really, really neat. So that's from the highest of stakes sneak peek. So very cool. Let's get back into it. So big shout out to them. You can retweet that, of course. I'm going to post that in the comment there if you want to retweet that out. Strongly encourage you to get out there and send it around. What else do we got? Richard says, Richard Hart wasting the Altar Boy outfit again. He is indeed. RH for the win says lies beneath. Bling, bling. Bling, so damn fancy, says Monica. Yeah, true that. Nice to see Monica in the chat. PLSD, woohoo! Wow, yeah, that's pretty cool. The life of the rich and famous, eh? If you do well in crypto, the life of the rich and famous, that's something like that. There is the tweet there. If you want to check that out and spread it around, retweet. That's an easy way of spreading the word, is getting out there and spreading that around. Very, very cool. So that was nice. Let's get into the big news. Of course, Liquid Loans announcing, or at least talking about their big update here as well. Came out today with the CEO CC, with good old Matt doing an amazing job on Liquid Loans YouTube, and of course they had an update here with CC. Now, a couple of things. There were 3 main things that came out from me. One was the sacrifice balances. Obviously, they've come out and really, they said they only had about 15 people actually raise issues, which means that all their quick, careful, checking and due diligence and stuff has actually paid off. They do have a ticketing system, which held them up probably for a week and a half, just to make sure that they can make it smooth if they did get an onslaught of people. But it seems that very few people have actually had any issues, and many of them, they're a mixed basket of issues, but obviously been able to resolve those. So very cool. The other thing, of course, is the testnet coming up, and of course we're gonna have a quick look at the testnet. There's issue number two. So we're gonna have a look at this. So enjoy this one, and we'll get into the update about the testnet coming to Pulsechain too. The one thing I was going to say about the sacrifices, though, they'll probably do one final update for the testnet balances at the end of August. So that's what the expectation is there. So I imagine they're going to be, relative to the multiplier effect. If they change a few of the multipliers, it affects everybody. So there might be just slight adjustments there. You may not notice them very much. So we'll see what that's like at the end. That's the only other adjustment. So I think people have got about 4 weeks to actually post any issues that they have with the sacrifice balances. Like I say, hardly anybody has actually got in there. I think maybe like 15 or so. So that's very smooth process. It looks like it's played out really well. So well done to the team for the quality control there. Took obviously a decent amount of time, but we got there in the end. And quality is much more important than what I guess a failure, right? A bad result. So there we are. That's the way you go. So let's get into the second issue, of course, is around the user tester interface. So we're going to look at the Liquid Loans DApp as the last time we got a teaser there from Just Ask Jesse. Let's check it out. All right, so that is the sneak peek of the DApp, and of course, one of the updates that we were going to get from the team was that it's going to be CC basically said that we're either going to get the testnet available at the end of this month or the beginning of September. So that's kind of when the expectation. They're not going to airdrop the full sacrifice balances. They're likely just to give everybody a few tokens to play around with on the test network. So that's kind of the basic outcome there. So that's looking to come at the end of the month. So that's number 2 update. But the biggest update is really big, not only for Liquid Loans, but it's also big for Pulsechain. And that is a big oracle coming to the Pulsechain. Having an oracle operator that's decentralized, and that's the big update. So we're going to check that out. So enjoy this one. This is the latest update from Liquid Loans. This is a little excerpt of the video. I'm going to paste the full video in the video description so you can check out the full details. This is an excerpt of the oracle coming, which is TELLOR, and we're going to check that out afterwards. So enjoy.
Before I let you go, I think there's one more thing, last but definitely not least, is something I want to touch on is a possible Oracle partnership.
Oracle disinformation. Let's call it for what it is. The fake news that's been circulating the traps. Look, as you know, Matt, there's been a lot of innuendo, a lot of sort of commentary around Chainlink and, how it's going to break and how we're relying on Chainlink and all the rest of it. And all I can tell people is we are not using Chainlink. And there's a variety of reasons why we're not going down that path. But the main one is that we wanted to use a decentralized Oracle service. So to me, there's a lot of services that are currently, inverted commas, more centralized. It's a bit like, there's a lot of CeFi players that like to call themselves DeFi, but really they're just masquerading. Likewise with Oracle services, there are some that are very centralized. we've decided to work with TELLOR. So the community may be familiar with TELLOR. TELLOR is one of the Oracle services that Liquidity actually uses, right? So they're the backup Oracle in the event that the primary Oracle fails. The reason we wanted to go down that path was they are a truly decentralized Oracle. Their philosophy is fantastic. So we've had an opportunity of meeting the founders. There's 3 founders effectively. So there's Brenda, Nick, and Michael. Brenda's the CEO. We had a good conversation with Brenda at the outset, and I really appreciate her candor. But she said, look, Christian, let's work on this stuff. Let's get it moving, and then we can sort of announce it. And I totally agree with it. I thought, look, let's get this to where we're really happy with progress, and then we can make some more formal announcements. But organically, I think it's really good. I'm really happy with the way that's working. Big shout out to Nick Fett. Nick Fett's the CTO. He's one of the co-founders as well. He's fantastic. So this guy, for anyone that's interested in learning a little bit more about TELLOR, they also have a YouTube channel, and they talk about different aspects. It's a little bit more technical in nature, but predominantly they focus on aspects of the TELLOR Oracle. There is a specific YouTube video that he just completed. Look, I think he was at a DeFi conference, and I really like the way he discussed some of the challenges of the oracles. So for example, the centralized nature. He also speaks to the fact that, hey, bridges are perhaps another form of oracle, because really you've got an oracle service on one chain and another service on another. So in effect, a bridge is almost like an oracle service. So he talks a lot about that, and he goes into some of the challenges going forward. So really worth listening to. Really particularly like this video, and for people wanting to learn a little bit more about TELLOR, I'd suggest you take a look at that. So we might add that into the one of our links at the bottom of the video, Matt, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that, to me, working with those guys has been fantastic. I think all credit to Nick just for how he's helped us to get to this point. The other thing that we wanted to flag here is
so that was a big part of the update regarding the announcement of TELLOR. Now, there is more in the video, so I do strongly suggest you watching the whole video that Matt did. But those are 3 of the highlights, and of course the big one there, the TELLOR update for Pulsechain. So that's big news, having a big pricing oracle. Obviously, lots of pricing nodes decentralized too, which is what we like, right? So it's going to be really cool. Not only that, but liquid lines, but can help onboard other people and validators as well. So in terms of price feeds, and that's really fundamental for DeFi to flourish. We need good stablecoin. We need good price calls. So it's all coming together, folks, on Pulsechain, and I'm sure liquid lines is going to help facilitate other teams with both of those things. So it's going to really bullish. So things are really, growing up. We're maturing, getting everything we need to really fly when Pulsechain launches. Very exciting. All right, so that is cool. That is the update around that. So let's get back into the next update. We've got a couple more things to look at TELLOR. This is TELLOR website, tellor.io. So if you want to check out that in a bit more detail, that's tellor.io as well. So very, very cool. Definitely smash the likes. If you haven't hit the like there, smash the likes, says Andrew. Definitely do that. Smash his HexPLSD. What else have we got there? I think that's probably it. Yeah, there is the site, tellor.io. That's for the Oracle. TELLOR is a transparent and permissionless Oracle protocol for your smart contract to easily get data whenever it needs. Now, one thing that CC, the CEO of Liquid Lines, did say was that this is the backup Oracle for Liquidity, which is operating incredibly well on Ethereum, and of course, which is what Liquid Lines fork. So very, very bullish there. Very neat. There's some cool animations and stuff on there as well. You can check out that TELLOR also has a website, YouTube, and you can subscribe to that as well. And so that's pretty cool. You can find all that on the website there. You can go to the top right there and find the YouTube. Also on Twitter there, they got 29,300 followers. Not bad for an Oracle price feed. That's in there as well. And of course, that is the update there. So big news for Pulsechain. The second big news, of course, is something that we've known about. But the fact is that Rackham Rishels has been pumping these out. Yesterday, we talked about EB Exchange, which is coming, which is absolutely massive for Pulsechain. And of course, that's in partnership with Everything Blockchain, a technology company in blockchain, of course, which Overwatch Rackham Rishels has partnered with to build on top of Pulsechain and add a lot of value on Pulsechain. And of course, that's how you get the value of the chain up, right? So it's pretty cool. Not only that, but it's a business in its own right. And of course, you make profits with an exchange there. That's going to be huge for Pulsechain. We covered that yesterday. And of course, today he's announced second one, of course, EB Control, one of the 4 products that they're looking for, utilities that they're bringing to Pulsechain. And of course, EB Control is out three hours ago. EB Control, where you are in control of your data, its entire life. And this is government level security that the individuals are going to be having. This is actually a really alpha service to people on Pulsechain. And you can see it's coming to Pulsechain shortly. Isn't that bullish? I love that. Download for Windows, Mac, and Outlook. So you've got EB Control.io pricing there. So it's pretty cool. And we actually haven't looked at that. Mobile versions released on Apple, Android as EB Control. Everything blockchain come to Pulsechain shortly. So super bullish there. You got some insights here in some of the UI or DApp. You got data owner, and of course you got the select files to secure, share data with others, set data user rights, set access by date and time, set access by location, and of course notes instructions there are just under the shield here. So this is your shield. These are the different emails and as data owner. So really, really cool. We've got a second page here as well. Files, we've got the number of files in there. It's got the countries as well, states and cities. So your DRM, data rights management, time box file access here, when, where, geofence file access, who, set the user permissions. This is an amazing amount of customization, where you can set timing and where it's eligible access, who it's eligible access to. So this is really complete data control. Very, very impressive as well. So cool. We've got the website, of course, everything EB Control there. So I'm going to post that link there and spread that out too. That's a big deal. This is going to be a lot of alpha stuff coming from Rackham Rishels. Really is Rackham Rishels here, and this is awesome to have a billionaire that's building on the chain. I can't say it enough, really. It's so cool, and there is the tweet. So spread that around. Leave some good messages. Supportive messages really is cool. And lucky. It's going to be so good. Adding big value to Pulsechain. It's so cool. So very, very cool. Let's have a look here. I've got a couple of other comments in here. Let's have a look here. Rob Star Global says, you're by far the most consistent YouTube. Thanks. Appreciate that, Rob Star. And of course, I love it, man. I love it. So good. And we're building up such a great community as well, which is another great part of it. That's what Richard says, talks about the community too. It always surprises you to the upside, was what I'd say. Coinbase and BlackRock get both dices, Drady. Yeah. Well, centralized exchanges, we've seen that if they're having any issues, they'll stop you from withdrawing your own coins, right? So if you don't own the keys to your coins, that's a real problem. So if you like decentralized products, and that's the place to be, you get complete control. Come join us at hex.com and pulsechain.com. Of course, this is where we live in decentralized land. If you get a bit more mature in crypto, maybe just come on, you're onboarded through centralized exchange and you're participating in CFI, centralized finance. Get out of there, control your keys to your coins, come over to the other side, to the decentralized land, and you'll always control your assets, and you won't have to be, you won't lose them through those other two means. It's pretty cool. Hex PLSD said, yes, love the streams. I appreciate that, Hex PLSD. There's a Rackham Rishels tweet there. Taurus Johnny's got the ducks, love it. Loads of info for today, says Satan's Angel. Absolutely. We got some alpha updates today. It was really cool to wake up to them when I went through and checked what's out at the moment. We love you, says Sandra. I appreciate that, Sandra. Here's Instagram model love out to you. You guys know how I roll. It's so good, so cool, and we're so early, says Monica. Absolutely. Great summary there, Monica. Great summary. We are early. So cool. There it is. So very nice. And of course, here is the website here for ebcontrol.io, which is cool. And I haven't actually gone through this myself, which is really neat. So I'm doing this live, which is kind of cool. They got their billing services here, EB Control, and with EB Control, your data always stays in your control, no matter where it goes or who you share it with. Isn't that fantastic? I love this. Now I've looked at this a long time ago. This particular aspect of services, particularly within crypto. Crypto is one of those places where a blockchain that you can do certain things like this, and you keep control. You're not reliant on a middleman or a centralized platform. Really, really is cool. Some of these people, they're terrified of our freedom, right? They're terrified of freedom with these things, and so very cool. So you can see they've got some free services here. They've also got premium services there as well. So cool. Product support, pricing, trial, download, media, everything else. So this is really looking really nice, the site. And they've got products in here. Your data, your rules, complete control. Woo-hoo-hoo! We love it. This is where we live, right? This is where we live, and that's really cool. So I might check this out offline, but that's really cool. And of course, you can check it out too. EB Control. I'll post that in the chat. Did I post that in the chat? I think I did already. If I didn't, here it is. Here, I'll post that EB Control. And there we are. So cool. There we are. EB Control. Wookie says that it was interesting that Cindy met with BlackRock on a trip. Yeah, well, they're all part of the same evil empire there, Wookie. So there's no surprises there. And I'm trying not to talk political. Let's move on. All right, so cool. Let us go into the resources, a blog, and the media there. You've got channel partners as well. How to become an EB controlled authorized reseller. Hey, I actually might look at this too. This is pretty cool. Look at that, isn't it? And of course, we've got the help center there too. The customer experience matters a lot. So very cool. Lots of cool stuff in there. And pricing seemed to be reasonably priced there from the looks of it. $39.99 billed annually, $3.99 per month. That's a very reasonable price. OMG, that's actually a very good, reasonable price. Wow. So cool. Some people, you'd expect to get charged $40 a month, right? So that's actually very, very reasonably priced on that. Like it. So it's a real volume play, isn't it? A real volume play. So very cool. There's a free trial as well, so you can trial that out. So cool. I might test it out, and maybe we'll cover that on another video. How about that? I might do a special video on that. So it's cool. So 2 huge pieces of news today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And of course, we got so much more about this EB control, even than I expected to see during this live stream. So that's really exciting. I like it when we get upside there. Hey, we're coming out with the Hex Daily Stats. Let's jump over. Bam. And of course, we got day. What is it? Day 976, hot off the press. Here we go, folks. We're getting into it. Yeah, if you want to check out the EP control, there it is there. Let's get into it. All right, so we've got the 4th of August. We've got the price at 4.7 cents, just down a tad, 0.7% after our 5.2% increase yesterday. We got the payout per day per T-share today, the 6.266, and of course I was surprised that Brazil didn't paste that in the chat there, but I love it more. I love it more. That's why I didn't get front run by Brazil because I love the payouts more than Brazil. That's pretty much how we go. I'm going to get in deep trouble. All right, to 6.266 is the payout per T-share, and of course T-shares mean trillions, trillions of shares, and of course there's a large amount of shares because it just needs that many to be able to mathematically operate with all the people that are in. We hit over 100,000 stakers yesterday, which is absolutely beautiful. So a lot of people with T-shares or parts of T-shares in the house. $1,092 is the T-share price at the moment. Of course, you can get that for a third of the price if you do longer pays better, which means if you stake for 10 years, you can get 200% bonus. That'll get you for a third of the price. And of course, you get 20% more shares per year, up to 10 years there. So pretty cool. Oh, a big increase today in the T-share rates, up 16.1. Yesterday was a dot day, and the previous day before that was 17.6 as well. So some pretty interesting numbers there. We're at 23,113.6. Now, there are a couple of websites out there with T-share rate predictions using different models and that, but definitely it's up and to the right, right? It's going to be up and to the right there. This is part of the magic of Hex contract, by the way. If you're wondering what separates Hex, one of the many features, it's not just one. This is probably the most fundamental one in the contract is the share rate. It only goes up and to the right, and it kind of represents compound interest, and it means that longer pays better. People that are staking shorter can't outdo people paying longer as well. So there's a couple of purposes there, or multi-purposes. So cool. The average stake length 6.51 years, so up from yesterday. So that's cool. Oh, down for yesterday. Sorry, 6.51 years is the average stake length, which is amazing, right? The people delayed their gratification all the way out to 6.5 years, but they get rewarded for it, right? They get longer pays better, and to some degree they get bigger pays better depending on how much they staked. Annual percentage yield rate, yield or inflation plus emergency in-stake penalties is 38.7%. Really, really good, up from yesterday. Liquidity in the pool, 181.6 million Hex in the pool versus 12.2 million US dollars and 1,106 Ethereum. Obviously, this is what people have to use Ethereum and USD for the most part to buy the Hex. And of course, way to go. Now, the T-shares are down 7,100. We're at 10,431,954 T-shares. Remember that Hex is easy to understand. We have a reward pool that has inflation and some penalties from people that end their stakes early. And then, of course, we have a ownership pool. The ownership pool owns the reward pool. And, of course, it gets calculated every single day. And, of course, if T-shares go up, then the payout of rewards to each T-share goes down. If the T-shares go down, then the reward, all things equal, will go up, etc. And vice versa. If the reward pool has more penalties go in it, then, of course, the rewards go up for the T-shareholders. So pretty cool. All right, let's jump over to, we had big change in circulating supply, down 121 million. Of course, we had our big stakes come out. We still had a big stakes come out. I guess that's what's played out there. But then we had a lot of it, we had more restake. So increased the circulating supply, but of course, then we got far more restake there. So that's cool. The number staked, the percentage of coins now is now 9.6% of all Hex stakes. So that's really cool. That's really nice to see this here be bigger than the circulating supply. That was really cool there. So nice. A lot of those stakes did end up just rolling forward from the looks of it. We're going to have a look at the stake calendar now, actually. 9.6% stake. So let's go check that out. It's pretty important, this staking ladder. We'll see what happened after those. Remember, we had two big candles coming out, the first and the second. And then we only had one big candle left coming out and the 1st of September. So that was the last big one. And so let's see how that stuff kind of restaked. Hopefully it's going to be easy to see. We're going to go just to the end of the year. So let's have a look here. Bam. All right. So, so we only got this big candle here. So it really has broken up, I guess. I haven't looked at all we had two big candles coming out. The 1st and the 2nd here, or 2nd and 3rd was one of those 2 dates. I think it was 1st and 2nd. That's all come out. And now we only have this one big candle. Where's the rest of it gone? We have had a lot of restaking, so maybe it will show up later. Maybe tomorrow might show up there as well. So definitely, as I suggested, it was going to break up. We do, if you aggregate all the stuff at the beginning, it's kind of like the front wave of short-term stakers that are doing 60 days, 90 days. Some of these people are just scraping off the interest and just recycling their principal. They do slowly get diluted. It just depends on how big their bag is, of course, and of course of Hex, and of course they slowly get diluted after a while, but it does take some time for that. But in any case, this ladder to the end of the year looks insane. Look at this one candle that's got 1 billion. So somebody restaked and added to this because I can't remember what this was. Was it 700, 800 million? It's gone to 1 billion now. Also, I'm not sure when the Origin account has stakes. I'm not sure. I'll have to go check there's just a couple of sites we can check. I might pull it up this afternoon. We'll have a quick look to see when the Origin account stakes are coming. It's got about 12% staked at the moment, about 7.3 billion or something. And the Origin account is estimated to be staked. And of course, that is over many years. It's staked the first 10 years, I think. And the first 2 years have come out. So we've got different stakes coming out. So that's cool. Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Is that hot dog? That's such a different landscape. It's mind-boggling. I'm just fixated on this. Are you guys fixated on this? That is really different. So I guess it's broken up. Some of it's gone into here. We're looking out for that. So fascinating. We'll see next couple of days if we see some new candles pop up. They won't be big like this, though. I don't think they'll be big like this. They'll be certainly, if we do see some candles, they'll be probably smaller, maybe 300-400 mil at the most. So we do have a lot up here still. You can see that we've still got these relatively high candles. That's 320. That's 376. So they're non-trivial. It's just these giant candles that we have, where they're like 600 million, 1 billion. These are disappearing. And of course, what that means is two things: that they're breaking up and they're restaking, but also that some people may just be holding stuff in their liquid wallet. So that's the other thing as well. Now, obviously, we've got Icosa and Maximus coming up. Maybe some of the larger accounts will participate in that. We've obviously got Origin stakings, and finally, maybe some people are still waiting for Pulsechain and keeping their large bags liquid for that. Who knows? So there we are. There's a couple of opportunities there. All right, cool. That is very nice. Let's get back in the rest of it. Of course, we've got the change in total holders up 235 to 478,308. Stakers, woohoo! That's 100,000. It's so cool. Wow, 100,000 up 100 there. And of course, we're 100,000 there. Nice at 129, looking good. Change in total stakers up 120, and current holders up 31, which is actually kind of a low point there. We had such a bullish period the last week. And you get to 31, we're up to 306,896 current holders at the moment. Very, very cool. But that 100,000 staking number, that looks so good, especially compared to the 999s down below. That looks really, really cool. I feel really proud. I feel like a proud papa that's just, little boys growing up. It's really cool. So very cool. We're on day 977 now. Only 23 days after this to get 1,000 days of the Hex history. That's mind-boggling, isn't it? Isn't it so cool? 1,000 days. And, of course, after that 3-year party, 1,095 days. And, of course, we're getting closer and closer. What are we about? 4 months away. 4 months away. That's insane, isn't it? Of the Hex journey. It really is crazy stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's pretty much big news for Pulsechain. Really good stuff for Hex. You can see everything is just slowly pushing forward. I would just say keep spreading the word about Pulsechain and Hex. And, of course, whatever you can do. We do have cool stuff here in Discord. And we add this new promotionals toolkit. So there's lots of different stuff in here that you can spread the word with. I do encourage you, if you've got any pamphlets or any cards or anything that you think is going to be helpful for people to spread the word, just maybe around your local block, maybe around the car park, put little cards, whatever you do, whether you're just telling people, getting it online into groups, keep spreading the word about how amazing the ecosystem is. And of course, everyone's getting copy at the on Pulsechain, and of course, a pretty good entry price as well at the moment for Hex in particular. So check that out. Now, if you haven't joined our Discord, of course, we're heading up towards 650 members. The link's in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share to this channel as well. Before we do leave, though, we're going to get into the charts and just quickly check on how they're going. Hex is at 4.7 cents. We've got Hedron at 9.771, and of course we've got further down here Maximus at 9.38 cents. And we're going to actually pull up its own chart. We're going to have a look at Pulse Dogecoin, since it's doing some pretty interesting things. We're expecting staking and deflation to come out there with their secondary token. Was it Dodge Bitcoin or something like that? And that's currently at $4.80, $7.48. It's got a new day. As I said, we'll be in a new day on my chart. This is my time frame. And of course, we're starting on a new day. Looking good, actually. Looking good there. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with this chart. We're only theorizing. But I say if you're holding this, I would definitely be looking at the behavior of the big whales, is what I would suggest to you. Maybe those top 6 accounts. And of course, the BA and the OA addresses. There's about 8 whales in there, over 50K. So I'd just be looking at that and analyzing that if you want to stay in longer. Probably a wise thing to do. Keep tabs on what Wolverine's saying on his Twitter as well, if you're going to stay in there, because you want to be part of that. Also keep the official Pulse Dogecoin Twitter as well, so that you know when staking's coming out and things like that. Now, stakings could absolutely make this absolutely fly. Assuming the whales stay intact, they could absolutely fly. So there's some things to look out for in there. Obviously not investment advice. This is speculation. So just remember that. All right, let's jump into it. What else we got there? Dave Dunn says definitely not the girl next door to me, says Dave Dunn. Yeah, that's what I said. I said it's always the girl next door, but never next to you, right? Never next to you. That's true on the thumbnail. Yeah, looking at the thumbnail. Now that is just some random girl off the internet that I just took the background off and put on there because she's excited and we're excited too, right? I got major news. BlackRock teams up with Coinbase. Yeah, true that. We talked about that at the beginning of Healing, Helping, Loving. Brennan says, did you watch Maddie Allen's interview with Hexfire the other day? Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we've actually looked at that website on here before. It is really good. So congratulations for the Hexfire.io. It's definitely a major contribution to the information for Hexkins. So very cool. We'll probably have a look. We can check that out later on in the afternoon. We have been on that site before. It's got a T-share predictions. Very, very good site. Healing, Helping, Loving says they are coming for the entire crypto market. BlackRock is what a BlackRock tries to team with Hex and Pulse. Well, if they're wanting to pay through the teeth, then I'm sure that some people will sell to them. That's pretty much market rules, right? Market rules. Pretty cool. All right, so I think where are we up to on that? I think we've got everything in there. Let's play out. We're going to play out Power City on the way out. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Don't forget to catch me later on for in 5 hours time. We're going to have the second live stream of the day. Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex twice a day, man. And if we got more news, it's going to be coming out of this channel. And I hope you have a good time today. I've got lots of chores to do. I've got to work hard today, and I'll probably be a bit more tired. I've got to do lots of different chores, so we're going to get through those. So very, very cool. Sandy Beach says, I've been told many times that I'm the next girl next door. Sandy Beach, you are the girl next door. That's right. But There's how many sandy beaches are next door? There's none in my area. So there we are. All right. Take care, everybody. And of course, maybe each of us are the girl and guy next door. Who knows? Just depends how you look at it, right? Life's been a bit of fun to end the live stream. How about that? All right, let's play out Power City Core. This is going to be one of the major projects, utility providers on Pulsechain. And I'm looking forward to having the team give us the latest updates on this channel coming up soon, hopefully. So you've got to organize that when they're ready. So very cool. All right, Power City Core, here we go. Bam, peace out. Lots of love. Take care. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh, you're welcome.
MicroStrategies. Michael Saylor joins me. So, Michael, once again, they came to dunk on you, my man. I mean, there were some great memes, some great videos. I'm sure you saw some of them. But looking at the action today, it looks like maybe you're the one dunking on them. Walk us through the quarter. I mean, the headlines were brutal.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. First of all, it's a non-GAAP impairment charge, and so it makes for a colorful headline, but our shareholders, the officers and the directors of the company and our customers look through it all. What happened in the quarter is, if you look at the big picture and consider the metric that really matters, which is shareholder returns, MicroStrategy is now at the 2-year point in its Bitcoin strategy, and after 2 years of exercising our strategy, our stock's up 123%. Bitcoin's up 94%. We have outperformed every major asset class, all big tech stocks, all enterprise software stocks. Google's up 54%, Oracle's up 42%, bonds, silver, gold, Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, CRM, and SAP are all down for this period. Right. So we turn in good results for our shareholders. We're doing it on the backs of volatility, and the volatility means Bitcoin price changing all the time, and the indefinite accounting treatment makes some of our GAAP financials look a bit ugly. But the number one thing to keep in mind is we started this journey 2 years ago with an enterprise value of $666 million. We have added $5 billion to that number. We're up to $5.5 or more billion in enterprise value. It's up 730% in 24 months. Right. No strategy could have done that. other than a Bitcoin strategy.
So safe to say that rumors that the board is looking to get you out of the company might be just a little bit exaggerated. Let me ask you about this crypto bill in Congress, in the Senate, the bipartisan backing. How important is it that ultimately there are some sort of rules to the road? Almost every other day there's some kind of negative headline, not with you or a Bitcoin per se, but that universe is like the Wild West.
All the large institutional investors, the large banks, they all want to get involved in the asset class, and they want regulatory clarity. Guys like Ken Griffin had said it loud and clear. Fidelity wants it, Goldman Sachs wants it, JP Morgan wants it. So I don't know how the regulatory back and forth ends and which of the bills in Congress end up taking hold and what kind of compromise will take place. But what I do know is that everybody is catalyzed. They're all engaged in putting together a clear regulatory regime. And it's going to be good for Bitcoin, and it's going to be good for institutional investors.
I got a minute to go. I want to give you the last word on the haters who prematurely danced on your grave last night.
First of all, I'm still here. Second of all, people forget I'm the principal and controlling shareholder of MicroStrategy. I have the majority.
You've only been there
of the
33
vote.
years, right, since the inception.
Yeah, it's my idea. I wanted to do this. Fong is a really great operating executive, and he'll be even better as president and CEO. The company has added $5 billion in assets to the balance sheet, and we needed a new full-time CFO, and Andrew Kang has arrived to do that job. I get to step up to the executive chairman role, and I'm out there advocating for Bitcoin and the hundreds of millions of people that need it everywhere in the world.
Right.
And together the team is stronger. We're full speed ahead.
All right. Well, Michael, I know you got a lot of nicknames, but Chocolate Thunder's out there, since it looks like you're the one dunking over everybody else if you want that one. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. See you soon. So as everyone knows, it's been a real rough period for crypto investors, and many are actually saying, though, that this turmoil is having something of a cathartic effect, right? In the sense that, listen, it gets rid of the poorly run coins and companies and even some bad actors. Meanwhile, the community itself has really turned into a whole bunch of individual tribes, a lot of believers, of course, committed to their favorite coins. In fact, yesterday I read where a well reportedly bought 20 million Shiba Inu for $210 million. That would have been the largest purchase in history there. I do want to bring in now Hex.com founder Richard Hart. You know, Richard, you are the man behind Hex, and it's been some tough sledding for you, like everyone else of late. Just tell us exactly, what it is, why you created it.
Well, I mean, Bitcoin's got a lot of stuff it can't do. So, right now you're seeing everyone lose all their money, and I do mean all of their money, to people that said they would give them more coins. They tried to earn yield on their Bitcoin. They gave their keys to somebody else, which is the opposite of why crypto was invented. It was invented to get rid of middlemen. So what does everyone do? They give their keys to middlemen that have a good story. They're going to give you some interest. I invented something that I gave for free to Bitcoin holders that let them generate yield by holding their own keys without giving them to somebody else.
So I did some research, and I want to just ask you about a couple of things, because you've got some detractors out there. It might be a easy way of saying it. And I saw one article and one FI titled "Richard Hart's Hex Token is a Brilliant Scam." It says that the biggest problem with Hex is that the answers you just referred to being paid, but the token doesn't generate revenue. So the only place money can come from is other investors. That would be a Ponzi scheme, no matter how much you spend it. And then, of course, it goes on to say you lay it on thick. What do you say to an article like that? What do you say to an article like that?
Everyone misuses these words. A Ponzi scheme is a fraudulent endeavor where people are told they're going to pay more from a business activity that doesn't really exist. It's fraudulent. And there's a middleman that pays you your rewards. The family likeness test would say that Hex is most similar to Bitcoin, where miners create money out of thin air and pay themselves their own rewards through the fruits of their own labor. And therefore, since there's no middleman, since you mint your own coins, it cannot be a Ponzi. It can be a bubble, which is why the price drops 85% every 3 or 4 years. But then it goes on to make new all-time highs. So Bitcoin's dropped 85% 3 or 4 times now, and yet it's gone up 690 million%, from a penny to $69,000. And so all Hex is Bitcoin with proof of work change, where we pay people inflation to hold the price up through staking instead of paying them to destroy the environment through SHA-256 mining. So that's all it is. It's Bitcoin with a proof of work change.
I've been bringing a lot of folks on in your space because I'm trying to learn all of this. And again, when people found out you were coming on, I got a whole bunch of articles. There's another one I want to ask you about because, listen, obviously you've got a pretty strong following, but there was one in AZ Coin. This is 2019. It says worrisome Hex founder Richard Hart was revealed to be a notorious scammer known as the Spam King. Again, listen.
I got sued for $500 in civil court 20 years ago, and I couldn't pay for a lawyer to defend myself because in small claims court, you can't have a lawyer defend you.
Okay.
It would have cost me more than $500 to fly to Washington to go win the case. So I don't think being sued for $500 in small claims court makes you a Spam King.
Richard, where do we go from here with respect to the overall crypto space, Bitcoin, and Hex itself?
I called the top on the day. Everyone else told you Bitcoin was going to 100,000. I told you it was going down to 10,000. Why? Because it drops 85% every once in a while. But people, they forget that happens. They always think that this time's different. Nope, this time's not different. Are people paying $1 million for JPEGs, or more accurately, serial numbers loosely related to JPEGs, which may or may not still be hosted on the internet? Yes, they are. As long as people are doing that, you have to have a crash. The reality will not let idiots that buy JPEGs for $1 million survive.
For Hex, right? I understand you control like 80, 88%.
Oh, Hex.
People want to know, as they're getting in, you're not getting out.
The best time, the origin address has never sold a single Hex. Vitalik dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. The Ethereum Foundation dumps Ethereum on your head all the time. Chainlink founder dumps Chainlink on your head all the time. The origin address in Hex has never sold a single coin, ever. If you want to know who's dumping, just go look. It's all on chain. All of Hex's trading's on chain. Unlike that crap that you see, the fake volume and fake exchange trading you see for all the other coins. All of our stuff's on chain. You can see who sold, when they bought, what other coins they like, when they're locked up for. It's a miracle. It's the most transparent trading in the entire industry.
All right. Hey, that's all the time we have. I appreciate you coming on, and I do say...
You know I called the top on the day, right?
I did not know that. I did not know that. I'm waiting for you to call. I thought you were going to come on the show and call the bottom. No, that's what I'm looking for.
I'll call the bottom when it's 11K.
All right, cool.
And then maybe we go a little deeper.
Sounds good. Richard, thank you very much. All right, folks, of course, I want to hear...
This is the opportunity of a lifetime. Yes, every scammer in the world is going to tell you something similar, but in this case, you are actually going to have regret.
I mean, you're scamming everyone. Richard Hart, he's got a history of being called the spam master.
There's some weird things going on with his coins.
Making one of the biggest Ponzi schemes that we have ever seen.
Hex coin is 1,000% a scam coin.
People are going to lose money because of you.
Remember all the haters? All the haters that told you that I was a scammer and Hex was a scam? I got bad news for the haters. We're making new all-time highs where everything else is getting wrecked.
Price is up 4,000 or 5,000 fold in 600 days.
I've made enough money in the last week that I could buy a house in cash.
I would never have to work another day in my life.
I'm here to shill. I want to change the world, and I can only do that if people participate. The only thing that matters in this world is goods and services. Everything else is accounting. And our made-up imaginary internet money is better than the government's made-up imaginary internet money. Both of them are only backed by the shared fiction of the humans believing that they have value.
If Hex is a religion, then Richard is God.
I'm in crypto for glory. I want to have the best cryptocurrency that's ever existed. I want to have the best performing asset that's ever existed.
And so I think of blockchain as like the internet. In the 90s, everyone thought the internet was just for email.
I bought some this morning.
They're imaginary quarters. Like, it's like playing Monopoly.
I put it all in. I went...
Like, all what?
all of our house money.
This is a force that is not going to go away. The cryptocurrency is not going away. And at some point, the people that you met that you thought were crazy loon birds, they're going to be in the 1%, and they're going to be the people that own half everything.